Hello there, Todd Clemens, Okeechobee Livestock Market, and here's your weekly market report. We're already into August. It is getting hotter by the day, by the hour, except for now we're getting those cool rains in the afternoon. We had a deluge here Monday afternoon. I think it rained 3 inches in about 30 minutes. It seemed like it was just crazy, but it did cool things off, and that's one good thing about having the rain on a sale day. When the rain hits these metal roofs, and it cools the cattle down, cools the people down, and everybody gets along a little bit better. We had a good visit last week. Audra and I went to Kansas City, there to the Marriott Conference Motel at the airport, and met with some people that are interested in developing a southeastern supply chain of cattle and meat from hoof to the plate, so to speak. So it was interesting. We met a lot of people that we didn't know, but they're from different segments of the cattle industry and from the meat processing industry, and we met some really nice, really fine people there. And we had a Zoom call again today to get back and kind of target what needs to happen to get a place where we can have these Florida calves stay in the southeast. They can be fed in the southeastern region, not in Florida, but somewhere in the southeast, and then processed and retailed through some independent grocers. There's some possibilities there. Whether it's feasible or not economically, that remains to be seen, but we're working on it. So I think that's a good thing for producers here in Okeechobee. I think it's a good thing for producers in the southeast, but we'll kind of keep you posted. It was a funny thing. I wore my cowboy hat because normally that's what I do, and we travel. We were on the airplane and got off the airplane there in Kansas City, and we were waiting for the shuttle to take us to the motel, and I was surprised to see that in Kansas City, man, there was me and one other guy with a cowboy hat on, and he was walking by, and I thought, golly, I gotta maybe see who he is. One person in the whole airport had a hat on. He walks up, and I introduced myself, and he said, I know you, or I see you. Don't you do a YouTube podcast thing? And I laughed. I thought that was funny. Yeah, out of the clear blue, one guy at the Kansas City airport, and it turned out to be, his name is Bryce Schumann, and he's right there in Kansas, and it was nice visiting with you, and good luck with your endeavors, and thanks for watching and listening to these reports. We kind of want to keep you abreast of what's going on in the southeast, and anyways, just wear your cowboy hat more often, and you'll meet some really neat people. And not only that, you do stand out. If you get lost in the airport from your group, they can find you a lot easier. So that's what happened last Thursday and Friday. Here this week, we're just shipping cattle left and right. We had a big day Monday. We had over 1,600 head Monday and close to 1,400 Tuesday, for right there around 3,000 head again for the week. And your calf prices held up, and they are remaining good. They're staying at a really nice level, and calf prices are right where they should be this time of year. Even with the heavier runs and a little bit heavier supply, the demand is still there. On the slaughter cow side, it was really nuts. We've got 4 packer buyers, and they were extremely high. These guys are needing cattle, they're needing inventory, and they're loading them up, getting them out of here. We're not having to store any animals for anybody. As soon as they buy them, they're getting them hauled out of here to process. So that's where we are there. And I think on the feeding side of things, in the feedlots and the packer deal, they have slowed their chain speed down. They're just processing less beef, and they're trying to keep that retail price at the level where it is, and they're trying to get those live prices down because they are operating in the red, from what I hear, and it's very unusual for a packer to operate in the red, and they don't like that. So they're going to turn that thing around where they'll be in the black. And if they can't manage these input costs, the cost of buying these cattle out of the feedlots, then what they're going to do is they'll hold the retail prices up, or it'll go up, and it's already hit the season low. The seasonal low for the summer, I think, is already there. And the box beef cutouts there are a little over $3, $3.08 on the choice and $2.90 something on the select, and they're right there at that break-even point. So they're gonna hold that up and try to drive it on up with less supply. They'll limit supply, drive prices up, and then it'll kind of back cattle up into the feedlot. But even though there's not many cattle and we're getting into a point where there's going to be fewer cattle that are ready, fewer cattle that are finished to come out of the feedlots, these packers will be competing for cattle there. The one problem or the one advantage they do have on their side is they can procure cattle and not have to move them for 14 days, maybe even longer. But I don't know anybody that's selling cattle to packers with an extension of over 2 weeks to pick up. So that's a captive supply. The more cattle they can buy with time gives them a little bit more leverage as to what they have to get on the cash market, on a negotiated cash price. So there are some games being played, and that's the big four, the 80% or 85% of the cattle that are processed come through those big guys. And this conference we went to last week is trying to create more competition and just get a little percentage away from that 80-85%. If we could get 10 or 15% away from them and just try to make it more competitive, even with these smaller numbers and smaller inventory, it will keep those guys a little bit honest, I would say. We'll see. So back to the market here, we had some really good calves this week, and quality here is showing up. If you're a buyer out there and you've got some grass for summer calves and summer pastures, you need to come down here to South Florida and get in on some of these good Florida calves. They're coming in and they're big. They're from 500 to 600 and 650 pounds. They're good big calves. They're Charolais and Angus cross. But they're good cattle, and they're worth buying. We did have some high prices this week, and we had some local people. D-Cross Ranch, the Bass family in Bassinger, Florida, topped the calf market. Had a 190-pound calf that brought $3.60. That calf was bought by DNS. And on the slaughter cow side, Ron Grigsby, Rocking G Ranch from Lake Placid, topped the slaughter cow market with a 1,060-pound cow that brought $1.23, and that cow was bought by Florida Beef. We appreciate you tuning in. If you like these reports, subscribe to our channel, YouTube, thumbs up, and we'll keep them coming to you, and we'll keep you posted as to what's going around here in Okeechobee, Florida, Cowtown. That's your report. See you next week.